wax wraps? Well, they're a really awesome way of preserving food without using saran wrap. They're a renewable, recyclable resource that you can use in your kitchen, and we use them all the time. We really love them, and they're becoming super popular now. So we thought this is a great time to share how you can make them at home yourself. You don't have to buy them. They're really easy and fun to make. They'd be fun to make with your family, with your kids, as long as you don't burn yourself. And so we're going to show you how we make ours today. So first we're going to just show you how we use ours. Wax wraps are great to cover bowls. They can cover fruit or vegetables to put them in the fridge. They're made out of beeswax and 100% cotton material. And again, they work like a saran wrap, so that nothing, like no air gets in. So it's an airtight seal. We cover everything with them. Now you can't put them in their microwave because they will heat, and obviously the wax will heat and then it'll drip off. And same thing, you can't put them in the oven, but they're great around things that you put in the fridge or things that you take to work or school. You can wrap them in a wax wrap. So basically, this is what it is. It's just a piece of fabric with wax on it. And you can use it to cover anything, basically, like I said. So with the heat of your hands, typically they should form around the outside and you should get a good seal. But that's not always the case depending on how much wax you use and also how thick the fabric is. So you want to think about that. In this case here, you can see that it pretty much seals all the way around without doing much to it. But sometimes you do need an elastic, and I use that specifically for big pots. So what I would do is just put an elastic around the outside like that. So it's super great, and like I said, they're reusable. Over time they might break down, but it's a great way of conserving resources and also not using plastic wrap. So today we're going to show you how to do that. So obviously, first thing you want to do is you want to find some fabric. So these are previous wax wraps that we've made. You can make them in different sizes. But you want to choose something that is definitely cotton material, because then when you go to recycle it or compost it, it will break down better than like a rayon or something that's made of plastic. And again, plastic material is not going to do very well when we have to iron on the wax. So we're just going to show you how that works. So I've got a piece of fabric here that I've cut out. I've just used pinking shears, you can see on the edges, to make kind of a fun edge, but also what it does is kind of prevents it from fraying. Now again, we're going to put wax over so it won't fray, but just kind of adds a little bit more detail. And then what you're going to do is get some wax. So here I've got some wax here. It's you can buy wax. Actually, we have wax here on the farm because we have our own honeybees. So we collect that wax and we can use it for fun crafts like this. But you can buy wax. This particular wax here I got at the Simcoe Farmers Market, and so I know you can get it. You can get a little chunk for about $3 or $4, and a little chunk like this will make you probably 5 wraps or more, depending on how big they are and what you want to do with them. So then the next step, obviously, is to grate the wax in a grater. Cheese grater. I just use a normal one here. I think I bought this one at a garage sale, so it cost me next to nothing. And you know, you don't want to be mixing wax with your everyday things, but it is easy to clean. It's just you want to make sure you're not eating wax after. So I keep this specifically for grating wax and other things like that. But you could probably use your own if you're really clean and wash it really well after. So you just want to grate it into just normal cheese grating size pieces. And then we have our iron here, and we've got a piece of parchment paper. So just normal parchment paper, and I'm using just a cookie sheet, and then underneath, obviously, I've got a towel here to make sure I don't burn the table. I've got the setting on my iron here to about cotton setting, so it's nice and hot. And then, yeah, I just take my cloth here, whatever size I want, put it down on parchment paper I've got laying down on the cookie sheet, and then you want to put the wax on top of the cotton fiber that you have, and you want to be fairly liberal with it so that you've got enough to melt into the fabric. You can always add more if you think you need more wax, but this is a good start. start. So if I was making a pizza, let's say, I would probably put as much wax on the fabric as I would on my pizza. Okay, so that's a good indication of how much I'm using. And then I would take my other piece of parchment paper and put it over top. And this is so that my iron doesn't get full of wax, because of course, you never want to get wax on your iron in case you actually want to use your iron for, you know, ironing your clothes, because what will happen is you'll actually get wax on your clothes after. I've had that happen before, so I'm just speaking from experience. But anyway, so then you just want to heat up the wax and it'll melt right into the fibers. So I just go along, spend a few seconds heating up the wax. But of course you don't want to burn anything, so just go along and you'll see it melt right in. I'll show it to you in a second when I get it all melted in. And then you just want to go along and move the fabric and also move the iron, and it will all melt in. And some might squirt out the sides, so you just want to be careful. Of course, the iron is hot, so you want to be careful of that too. But you'll see it moving around as you move the iron around. And okay, so I think we've got it kind of all. I'll show you here what it looks like. So you can see that the wax is all melted and there's some air pockets in here, but the wax has been moving around with the fiber, or with the material. So you can, like you see, I'm touching it. It's warm, but it's not going to burn you, and you can peel off the parchment paper right away. So I'll just show you here, and this is a good way of checking to see if you got wax all over. So just pull it off, and you can see here that, hopefully you can see that there's wax almost all over, but it's kind of in this bumpy, weird pattern. It looks like maybe there's a little bit too much wax on, so I was super liberal. So what I'm going to do is just put the parchment back on and heat it up again and squish some of the wax off. You can see some of the wax is running off the side here. So again, when you're using your iron, make sure you don't get it on the sides. But this is great because then if I make another one right after this, I can just soak up the rest of the wax on that parchment and not waste it too. So we'll just continue to iron here. And just run some of the wax off. And these are great gifts to make, obviously, for anyone. And they're, like I said, compostable when you're done with them, or they kind of get grimy. But you can also wash them too. I wash mine in with soap and water. You want to make sure the water's not super hot, obviously, or it will melt the wax. But in cold water, it's fine. And I use basically any kind of cotton fabric. If I've got old bed sheets laying around that I'm not particular, like, you know, got big rips in them or something, and there's still some good parts left to it, you could use that. You could also sew them into pockets or into bags, so that's work to do. So you can see that the wax here is just drying up, and it takes about a couple of minutes to dry, and then you can just peel it off. So just peel it off here. Ooh, and there's a little bit excess wax, so just take that off. And that's it. That's the wax wrap. So you can see it's pretty fairly nicely coated. Obviously, if you become an expert at it, you'll get better and better every time you make the wraps. But yeah, they're pretty easy to make, super versatile, and a great gift, and a great way to reduce your saran wrap or any other plastic that you're using in your house. So if anyone has any questions, please let us know. Everyone that signed up again for their vegetable box today or in the last week will be getting a free wax wrap with their first box in June. So we're really excited to give those away. And if anyone has any questions, like I said, please let us know. Or if you're interested in getting some wraps from us or learning how to make them, we'd be more than happy to share them with you. So Again, yeah, you can make them with all kinds of different materials, and we just want to thank everyone for celebrating CSA Day today and watching our video. We'd be happy to do some more videos if anyone has any ideas of what they'd like to learn next. So have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.